Alright, it says I'm live. I've got no viewers because I never say ahead of time that I'm going to do this. It's always spur of the moment. That's just how it is. I don't know how any other way to do this. So we'll give it a just a little bit, see if anybody hops on. Again, if I had any sense, I would schedule these ahead of time so you guys know when and where and what and how and why. Otherwise, I'll start with the Salamanca stuff. I'm going to have a bit of a zoomed in approach to everything that's going on, and then we'll back off and get a panoramic view. So we'll start with the French, and what we have is, pardon my French, Tamir up here, and he's going to consist of, I'm probably blocking, no I'm not, am I? No. He is consists of two large line battalions, one regular line battalion, and a foot battalion. Now I do plan on, this is from the All-Band Triumphant Volume 1, Black Powder. I do plan on using the Black Powder rules verbatim. For anybody that's just hopped on, stick around. I've got my Napoleon movie review coming up. And then beneath him is Curto with, let's see, we've got Hussar Regiment, two large Chasseurs Cheval, and a horse artillery. Then we move this way. There we go. We have this unit here, which is, again, Mokoum with three large line and 1 foot. Then below him is Bonnet or Bonnet, three large line battalions, two line battalions, and a foot artillery unit. And then we have Closel with his, where's Closel? Here. Jesus, Closel here. And he consists of two large line, two light battalions, and a foot artillery. Below him is Boyer, who's not actually on map technically yet. And he consists of two dragoon regiments and a horse artillery. Then way up here is Brenier, two large line, a regular line, and a foot. And then over here is Saru with three large line and a foot battery. And then way up here with the British, we have Pakenham. That's upper left corner there. Pakenham's going to have two large line battalions, a Highlander unit, a tiny rifle unit, Portuguese line battalion, and a small Cacadori battalion with an attached foot artillery unit. Next to them is our blowout cavalry stuff under Cotton with a large dragoon regiment, a large light dragoon regiment, a large KGL Hussar, a KGL dragoon, and a large Portuguese cavalry regiment. Then to the right of those fellers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more in the back. All the way back here, this area we have, is this Hope? That is Hope's unit with a KGL light battalion, two British line, a small Brunswick battalion, Portuguese line, and another Cacciadori unit. Right above them is Leith. I think it's Leith, three large British line, a Portuguese line, and another Cacciadori. Then on the upper right corner there, far away, is Clinton with two large line, Portuguese line, and a small Cacciadori. And then above Clinton is Cole with a large line, 2 British line, Portuguese line, and a small cacciatore. So this unit here doesn't actually enter until turn 2. And then we have this unit here, turn 2, and this unit behind them, turn 3. Everybody else starts on or enters on turn 1. That's the setup for Salamanca. And then we have anything else? We have a couple victory areas. I've got them outlined here with the 4 woods uh, areas. This would be the greater Euripides area, which is a victory area, and then the lesser Europolis, God's sakes, it goes from the windmill to here and back. And then Palmier's setup area here on the left, outlined with the woods there to the end and woods there to the end, is another victory area. 12 turns, and that's essentially it. There's a bunch of other little things, but as far as the setup and all the prep stuff, that's what we're looking at. Obviously, I busted out all the Callistra hex terrain stuff again. And so there's the panoramic long shot right there. Pretty good size. Again, I believe this is 6 by, I think it's about destroying everything. It's actually almost 6.5 long by almost 5 feet, just under 5 feet of table set up there. So that's that. All right, let me see if I can get myself on camera and go from there without destroying everything I hold dear. Let's set this here and pull this out. Move the microphone, which is probably inaudible anyway. Such problems. There we are on camera. It's been a while. All right, so leave that there. I think that does it. I don't know what that. Oh, that's the lamp and this thing here. That's the lamp. That thing. It looks like it's blocking the screen. Anyway, so made my way to St. Louis for Thanksgiving. Got there Thanksgiving Day without a hitch. All is well and good. Saturday, big day. Not sure why, but that's when we had decided to go see the movie, seeing if this will focus. That being the Napoleon movie. Now, I have been anticipating this for, I want to say years, because I first caught wind of it years ago. Little bitty blurb, Ridley Scott was going to be doing a new Napoleon movie. I think COVID slowed it down a little bit, understandably. And so, yeah, finally released. I've noticed on YouTube, and this is pretty much after I saw the thing, virtually nobody is satisfied with it. A number of folks disappointed, even more folks genuinely dislike it. I will say, just to start with, thesis statement, I was happy with it. Does it have problems? Yes. But I was, I guess I lowered my expectations as far as its adhering to any strict, rigid historical framework. I allowed for a lot of wiggle room there going in from the get-go. So I wouldn't be overly disappointed when I saw discrepancies or things that were left out. So that helped. It feels like there's 2 movies here. Now, this was a runtime of 2.5 hours, something like that. And the two movies are the Napoleon, the military leader, and Napoleon, when he's with Josephine. And again, I already knew going into this that there would be a lot of Josephine stuff. And the Napoleon that is portrayed is two different Napoleons. Again, the military commander is confident, a genius, can do no wrong till the end. The Napoleon that we see with Josephine is not quite as sure-footed. Um, how else can I put this? He is very codependent on this person, and it's I guess odd because when you see him in his military glory and capacity, it's a wonder how he can be so insecure with this person. But I guess such is love and all that. Regarding his relationship with Josephine, there's times when he's portrayed as infantile. That's one way to put it. And is this historically accurate? Who knows? You can argue it is. You can argue it isn't. I don't think anybody really knows. We have oodles and umpteen letters from the man written to Josephine, and you may be able to glean some sort of idea of how he might act in her presence, etc. But um, yeah, Ridley Scott's portrayal of him when he's with Josephine is it's it's testing to watch. It's not awful, it's not horrible, but it's a bit testing. I think the director took a lot of liberties with that, as did probably the actor. I read somewhere that Joaquin Phoenix, who plays Napoleon, he had a lot of trouble trying to determine how to portray Napoleon, even so much that it was getting down to crunch time, and he finally told the director that he didn't know what to do. So the director sat down with him for hours and hours and hours through a day or two or three, going over each scene, each shot, and kind of discussing how Napoleon might act, etc. So there's that, and then so I guess Joaquin kind of made that character his own thing, such that it kind of changed or transformed Ridley's vision of the movie, or what he had intended to do with the movie, and that caused him to go back and change some things. So Joaquin's portrayal and acting caused the director to go back and amend a number of things regarding that. So what else? Um, it was said that there would be 6 battle scenes. That's a big stretch. There's really 2 battle scenes in here, and I'm sorry to say that's the case, but that's the case. There's really 2 battle scenes. Austerlitz is one. Let me back up. There's 3. There's 3 battle scenes. Austerlitz is glorious. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It is everything you hoped a battle would be. Is it historically accurate? Probably not. But remember, this isn't a documentary, okay? It's just a movie. So it's for entertainment purposes. It's not for educational purposes necessarily. So just bear that in mind when you go see it. So the Austerlitz battle is fantastic. It's jaw dropping. It is. You'll be in a trance when you're watching this. Everything about it is just. I hate to say it, but because there's such death and carnage, but it is beautiful. Before that, we have the siege of Toulon, I believe, and that battle is portrayed uh, such that you could call it a battle scene, and then Waterloo at the end, which we'll get to. Any other stuff? There is Borodino in there, but it is really just a kind of an overhead drone shot of a mass amount of French troops moving in, and it lasts about 15 seconds, and that's it. Um, we do have the 1812 campaign, but again, that is so abbreviated. We see him hanging out in Moscow spending valuable time doing nothing. Hats off to that. We do see him in Egypt, but only briefly, long enough to see a cannonball bounce off a pyramid, and that was that battle. Um, I guess I skipped over the very beginning. We do see some revolutionary stuff and the whiff of grape shot that he releases on French citizens. And then there's nothing about the Leipzig campaign. There's nothing about Marengo. There's nothing about the crossing of the Alps. There's nothing about every when he comes back from Elba and does the 100 Days campaign. We get no lead up to the Battle of Waterloo. We get no background to that. It just cuts to him um, reclaiming his authority, and the famous soldiers, do you not recognize me? I'm your emperor, blah blah blah. And then it cuts to Waterloo, and with the Waterloo thing, it does depict the rain and the mud, and the Prussians are on their way, and what do you want to do? And do we go ahead and start firing the cannons, or do we wait till that was portrayed, which I appreciate. But we get nothing about the fact that Grouchy is chasing the Prussians, and will Grouchy show up? Will he not? We get nothing mentioned about that. We get nothing about the Wavre or any of those battles. So when we get to Waterloo proper, we see it is a bona fide battle scene. It is, I guess, pretty to look at. We don't see anything about Les Saints. We don't see anything about the Hougoumont farmhouse. We don't see any of the Scots Greys stuff. So, I mean, I can imagine where the the historian who is heavily steeped in Napoleonic lore, would be disappointed. But again, um, and I guess I was disappointed too, not to see that stuff. Uh, so, and then you get his exile to St. Helena, and essentially that's it. And so, having gone to see that with family, my brother had questions about it, and rightly so. He was confused about the Waterloo battle, and I said, "Hey, lucky for you, there's hundreds of books written about that battle, and why, and should he have, and how, and all that stuff." But again, it wasn't until I explained what the movie left out that it made maybe a little more sense to him as to what was going on. Because, like I said, they don't explain a lot of lead up to the actual Waterloo battle. I feel like they could have at least said something about, you don't have to portray it, but say something through exposition or something such that we have background and know what's going on. Again, if you don't know much about Napoleon or Waterloo, you don't learn anything about Grouchy and what's going on there, which is essential to the success or failure, arguably, right, of how that battle turns out. So, having said all that, what would I give this if I was to give it 10 stars? I'll be generous and give it 8 out of 10. Why? Because it's essentially it's pretty to look at. The military stuff is just fine and dandy. Again, you're going to have actually a lot of the Napoleon Josephine relationship. I suppose that's interesting in some respects, but again, it can kind of make you squirm in your seat when you see some of the things, as far as, like I said, him acting infantile in her presence and around her, etc. It's not necessarily cute and endearing. It's kind of squeamish and creepy. So, what else? Again, the Austerlitz battle. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm considering to see it again in the theater just to sit through the Austerlitz battle again. However, and that brings us to probably the final thing regarding the movie. Apple Plus TV will be releasing the full director's cut, which is 3.5 hours, or is it 4.5 hours? Either way, there's a lot of stuff that was cut that we didn't see that will be released on Apple Plus. I do plan on watching that, and maybe that's where some of these things that are left out uh, will reappear, and the movie will make more sense and have more of a coherence and overall coagulation of meaning, if you will. So, well, I don't know when Apple Plus plans to release that. Probably not until ticket sales start waning. There's no point in putting it out now while everybody's going to see the movie. So, plan to watch that, and maybe that will be better. Maybe it'll make more sense, or maybe it'll be a whole lot of fluff that needed to be cut. Don't know. I guess it remains to be seen. That's my thoughts on the new Napoleon movie. Do I recommend it? Should you go see it? Yes, go see it. What should your expectations be? And not too high. Don't expect a lot of historical accuracy. Don't expect to see every little thing that is near and dear to your heart. I mean, even with a runtime of, again, I forget how long that movie is. Let me check so I can make sense of what I'm saying. What is the runtime on that thing? Napoleon 2023. We're talking. Well, it doesn't say. Oh, 157 minutes of runtime. So, yeah. So again, don't have your expectations too high. They can only pack so much in there, and I feel like there are arguments as to what should have been put in there, what should have been left out. I feel like there's some things that could have been cut to make room for other things to be put in that should be in there. Either way, I guess the director made his best choices, conferred with everybody else, and this is what we get. Um, the beginning is awesome. Again, as I said with the Toulon Battle of Toulon, unless I've got that wrong, uh, and Austerlitz battle, and I guess the Waterloo battle is not the end of the world. If you want to see a great depiction of Waterloo, obviously go see the Waterloo movie from the 70s. Either way, go see it. It's worth seeing. Um, don't have your expectations too lofty. Just enjoy the thing. And wow, something weird just happened to the computer screen. I'm not sure what that means. There we go. Are we back? Not that I went away. On my screen, I did. So yeah, go see it. I'm kind of rambling at this point, and I haven't watched any of the reviews on YouTube of everybody saying it's awful. And one guy has pictures of tears coming down his face. He's so disappointed in the movie. And come on, guys, really? I mean, if you want accuracy, if you want, you know, what you're looking for that's not there, read a book, okay? And I'm not trying to stick up for the man. I'm not saying it's the best movie that you'll ever see on Napoleon. It's not. But come on, give me a break. It's entertainment. It's a movie. Just bear that in mind when you go see it. That said, there is still the Steven Spielberg HBO Napoleon series that is being worked on, and maybe we get a little more historicity from that. And the allegedly that version is Steven Spielberg's reworking or bringing to fruition Stanley Kubrick's vision of what his Napoleon movie was going to be. He actually even wrote a script, and did all this research, never followed through with it, but that's what Steven Spielberg will be bringing. It says as of February of 23, seven-part limited series for HBO. When will that come out? God only knows. I don't know. Hopefully it does, though, because I say the more the merrier. I mean, we can sift through the wheat and the chaff and decide for ourselves. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. Be curious to hear what you guys think, you my subscribers, and yeah, just go and enjoy it. I think that's about it. I've got virtually nobody watching, so no point in me sticking around. You guys take care and be safe, and we'll talk soon.